Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for week ending September 8th. Now, sales are the lowest they've been all year, but there's good news also. If you want to talk to me about anything related to real estate, we've made it really simple. In the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on the link, pick a time that's suitable for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time when you want to chat. I'll make sure I'm available and we could talk about whatever's on your mind related to real estate. You know, over the course of the weekend, the last few days, my team and I have been out working with buyers, and it's so refreshing that we're seeing a lot more listings coming on the market. So there's a lot more competition right now. So if you're a buyer and you've been struggling all summer to buy, keep your head up. Your home purchase might be right around the corner because there are more listings out there. It's good if you're a buyer, but if you're a seller, competition is not always your friend. You're doing two things when you're on the market. Your other homes are helping you to sell your home, or you're helping your competition sell their home. So who you hire, it's so important. I know I say this all the time, but it's so important. Being on the MLS is not the only thing you need to do. There's tons of homes every single week that come off the MLS as not sold. The agent that is good at marketing, is good at promotion, is good at figuring out how to get your home to stand out amongst all the other competition, and you're about to see more competition real soon. The home that stands out is the home that fetches more money out there. So if you want to get more money for your sale, hire the right agent that's good at promoting your property and getting it to stand out. Okay, let's get right into it. I talked about sales being the lowest that they've been all year. There's good news also. I'll get to that in a second. So here we have the City of Toronto, just the City of Toronto. There's no suburbs in here, just the City of Toronto, and only for detached properties. Sales for last week ending September 8th, are sitting at 113. That's the lowest they've been since the first week of January or the last week of December last year. The lowest they've been. But, you know, in the middle of that week, we had our Labor Day week. And so we expect sales to be a bit lower. Just a little surprising that they're as low as they are. But average sold price went up a little bit by about $50,000 or so. The average detached home in Toronto sold for $1,607,000. Compared to last year, we're sitting at 15% higher than last year's average sold price, which is interesting that we're 15% higher, because last year we sold 29 properties at $2 million or more, and this year, the same week, only 18. So we're kind of not comparing apples to apples, but we're still sitting at 15% higher. Of the 113 that were sold, 59% sold at list price or more. And here's the good news. The previous week and the previous 2 weeks, we listed a little over 190 properties. Last week, we listed 280 properties. So more listings came on the market, and I believe that is what's going to happen over the next few weeks. Listings are going to get higher and higher just because of the fall. And we'll often call the fall our second spring. It's a lot shorter than the spring season, but we're going to see more listings come on the market. That's what I expect. Now, the 280 listings, with so many more listings, why weren't sales higher? Well, there's a timing effect here. A lot of those listings came on later in the week, plus a lot of those listings will have an offer date attached to them. So even if you want to buy it right away, you can't. Offers are in 7 days or 6 days or 10 days, which puts the sales cycle into the following next week's chart. So I do expect sales to be higher next week. Okay, so months of inventory, because of much more listings, more active listings on the market, and sales being lower, kind of has a reverse effect on supply and demand. Months of inventory climbed up to 1.6. Days on market is 17. Now, when we look at the fact that average sold price went up by by about $50,000, I'm talking about all of Toronto. But I mean, we could break Toronto down in all its different neighborhoods. That's not something I can do on the board with you now. But I have broken it down in 3 sections: Central, East, and West. And when we look at that, the burgundy line here, this is East Toronto. Average sold price went up just slightly. When we look at West Toronto, average sold price went down quite a bit, by like $120,000 there. But in the Central, average sold price shot up by quite a bit. Now the Central has a big, it's got the lion's share of the luxury properties, and you'll see these large fluctuations in average sold price because of the luxury market. So the majority of the increase is coming from the Central market when we're talking about all Toronto. So this could mean in the neighborhood that you're in, prices went up, or prices could have come down over the last little while in the neighborhood that you're sitting in. Let's look at West Toronto. We sold only 35 detached properties. 43% sold at list price or more. So you've got time to actually look at a property. You can actually put an offer in with a financing and a home inspection condition. Imagine that. But compared to last year's, we're sitting at 6% lower than last year's average sold price. Looking at Central Toronto, months of inventory is sitting at the bottom end of a balanced market. So it's a lot more relaxed in Central Toronto. I got the charts here. Sold at list price or more is only 39%. So lots of opportunities to shop around, to negotiate in Central Toronto, but the majority of that is based more around the luxury market. And East Toronto is where it's the most active. 78% sold at list price or more. Average sold prices have been going up. Almost close to 1.3 million now for the average sold price in East Toronto for the average detached home. Months of inventory is sitting at 0.6. I'm going to talk about the semis in a second, but I should let you know we've started working with this client. We've got a really, really interesting project that we're working with. I talk about it at the end of the video, so stay tuned to watch that at the end of the video. Here we go. Semis. 74% sold at list price or more. Months of inventory did go up to 1, and average sold prices come down to just under 1.2 million for the average semi. And towns, we're not selling much. There's only 23 townhouses. These are the freehold townhouses. Only 23 sold in all the city of Toronto. But 70% of those sold at list price or more, so very competitive market, and we're sitting at 6% higher than last year's average sold price. Now, last year this time, towns were already really high. The fact that we're still higher than last year's sold price really tells you a lot. Let's get into the condo market right now. Sales has been coming down week after week after week, and 251 is also the lowest we've seen practically all year. So sales are down. The amount selling at $1 million or more is up slightly to 26, but average sold price has gone way up. We're sitting at $744,000 for the average sold price of a condo. Prices are strong in condos. I know for a lot of people, they're still thinking the way it was right after the lockdown, that prices are coming down, people are giving away their condos. It never happened. It's just not true, and prices are extremely strong when it comes to condos. We're sitting at 11% higher than last year's average sold price. Of the 251 that sold, almost half sold at list price or more. So in some buildings, lots of competition, lots of multiple offers. In other buildings, condos are sitting there. You've got time to negotiate a decent price on a condo. And look at listings. Previous week, we listed 508. Last week, for week ending September 8th, we listed 676. So listings are up in condos also. The same attitude that I talked about for the detached market. Listings are up. Sales really didn't go up. And that's just because of a timing. We expect more listings and more sales over the next few weeks in the condo space. Months of inventory is climbed up to 1.9 with an average of 20 days on the market. But look at average sold price. 744 is one of the highest prices that we've seen all year. Here's a summary. Months of inventory, generally, I mean, depending on which property type you're talking about, it's gone up or down. Except for central Toronto, months of inventory is low. It's still very much a seller's market. You do have some more room in the luxury properties at $2 million, $3 million, $4 million to, in most cases, to negotiate a decent price. Like I said, I have an interesting project that we're working with. It's coming up right now. Have a look. Let me introduce you to 4027 Bloor Street West, located just east of the East Mall. This is a 3-bedroom bungalow with a large private driveway, sits on a 43 by 120 lot. Now you can take the bungalow as is, updated to your liking, but it comes complete with building plans for a large 2-family home over 4,000 square feet. So let me show you how we're gonna go from the current small 3-bedroom bungalow that's on the property now to this large, over 4,000 square foot, modern 2-family home. City plans and permits are already in place. Here's the floor plan. Now this is a unique setup. 2 families can live under one roof here and both have luxurious living quarters. Here's the primary suite over here. Now it's divided between primary and secondary. Now to enter the primary suite, you either come in through the garage that has its own entrance where your own private space in the garage, or through the covered porch right at the front. And you come in and it's all open concept. The primary residence is about 2,400 square feet. You've got your open concept main floor and a walkout to a private back deck. Up to the second floor where you have 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 4 skylights, and its own laundry facilities. Coming back to the secondary suite. Now the secondary suite is about 1,650 square feet. There are 2 entrances to the secondary suite. One is through the garage where you have your own private parking, or through the side entrance here, and you come up and it's also open concept on the main floor with the kitchen, the living room, and a walkout to a private deck. Now the living quarters for this, you've got to go down just a few steps to the basement. You've got 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, and a family room, and it walks up. There's stairs also walking up a little bit to the backyard. Now, I don't want to confuse the secondary suite, say for a basement rental that everybody's kind of used to. The secondary suite is a full living quarters for another family. The basement has a ceiling height of 10 feet. 5 feet of it is above grade. Big windows. The point is it doesn't feel like a basement. And this is easily for 2 families to live comfortably, luxurious, or use it as rental income or for co-ownership. Call me and I'll give you all the details.